"11 states are planning to ban gasoline-powered cars just like California. Your state is next. And if electric cars are better, why are we banning gasoline-powered cars? Will you get rid of your car? Will you move out of your state? Or will you comply and sell your gas-powered car and install a charging station in your home and buy an electric car?" California is planning to officially ban the sale of gas-powered cars and trucks by 2035. And due to a legal technicality, more than one-third of the U.S. states may soon follow suit. Now, California is making a very strong statement regarding emissions due to a carve-out in the U.S. Clean Air Act and California Air Research Board, that is CARB, you may have heard that before, and it requires 35% of cars sold in California to be electric, plug-in hybrid, or hydrogen by 2026. And that ramps up 8% for every year after that. But before we dig into this, I want to remind you to subscribe and click that little bell for notifications so you don't miss anything. We cover more than car reviews, first looks of new vehicles. We give you car smarts because knowledge is power. California is the only state in the U.S. that can make emissions standard mandates beyond the federal government's, even though the Constitution states that one state cannot demand the rule of the other 49 states. And the law also allows for a loophole in the permits so that the U.S. states have to adopt to California standards without the federal government's approval and not getting its citizens' input, which is your vote. Voters should make the call, not the government. Currently, only 18% of the cars on the road in California are electric, and across the U.S., only 6.3%. All when the range and the availability of cars with the car shortage, the batteries that are reliant on Chinese rare earth minerals, and no tax credit unless they're built in North America, as well as the battery materials. That's leading to a problem. The average price of an electric car is $66,000 according to Kelley Blue Book and does not reduce climate change. This is not well thought out. California's Gavin Newsom announced this agreement 2 years ago, and that means other states that have opted into California's standards will officially have the ability to follow suit. So far, 17 states have agreed to follow California's plan. California's rule does not ban the sale of gasoline-powered cars on the used car market. You're not going to get fined if you drive a gas-powered car after 2035. This is only about new car sales per the current law that could change. As more states adopt California's measures, it could reach a tipping point for the electric vehicle market. At some point, it's going to be hard to find a gas station, according to Gavin Newsom. Here are the states that have signed on to California's vehicle standards and may be next to ban the sale of gasoline-powered cars. Remember, this can change, as most of these governors will not be in office at the time of the change. And as citizens struggle economically and citizens push back, this is going to change if you stand your ground. A fact to consider, between 1980 and 2020, the combined emissions from the 6 most common air pollutants dropped 78%, thanks to, in large part, for the advancement of cleaner internal combustion engine technology, which continues to improve and help the environment. Here's a list of states that have decided to comply with California's laws. New York Governor Kathy Hochul signed a bill to phase out new gasoline-powered cars and trucks as California's rule is official. New York said they would also follow. Massachusetts State Department of Environmental Protection will adopt and implement California's standard for clean cars. The state will also explore strategies to reduce the cost of electric vehicles. Vermont wants to increase the sale of electric vehicles over the next decade. The state's Department of Environmental Conservation estimates that by 2025, 5.4% of new vehicles sold in Vermont will be required to be zero-emission vehicles. Maine has its own climate action plan called the Maine Won't Wait. The state's Governor Janet Mills says that the state will put more than 200,000 zero-emission vehicles on the road by 2030. The state of Washington Governor Jay Inslee signed a bill that requires that all cars registered in the state of Washington be electric by 2030, 5 years before California's plan takes effect. That's all cars. Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont signed a bill that ensures Connecticut residents and businesses can access clean, affordable passenger vehicles, trucks, school buses, transit buses, electric buses, and the state has committed to putting 150,000 EVs on the road by 2025. Oregon has set a goal for at least 90% of new vehicles sold annually to be zero emissions by 2035. New Jersey said it would work to increase the number of EVs and related infrastructure on the road. New Jersey stated that by 2040, 85% of new light vehicles will be EVs. Maryland's Clean Car program was adopted and allows the state to adopt California's low-emission vehicle program. The state's Department of Transportation recently released a plan for electric vehicle infrastructure funding. Delaware's Governor John Carney announced the state would adopt California's regulations. The state committed to reducing its carbon emissions by at least 26% by 2025. Colorado Governor Jared Polis said that the state is taking action to achieve 100% renewable energy in Colorado by 2040. Rhode Island's Governor Daniel McKee recently joined 11 other states that supported phasing out gasoline-powered cars by 2035. Minnesota officially signed on to California's emission rules in 2021. It is the first Midwestern state to do so. Some lawmakers want Minnesota to abandon California's clean air standards, and that's all based on voting. New Mexico's Clean Car rule has gone into effect, and the rule begins phasing out gasoline-powered cars and trucks and SUVs starting in 2026. Virginia signed on to California's Clean Car standards in 2021. The state has joined the effort to start curbing pollution in trucks and heavy-duty vehicles in 2030. Nevada has set goals to reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 28% by 2025, 45% by 2030. The state's current rulemaking does not seek to adopt California's recommendation to phase out gasoline-powered cars by 2035. Pennsylvania has not officially announced that it will join California's plan on banning the sale of gasoline-powered vehicles by 2035. The state has taken steps to support electric vehicle use, including granting funding to install chargers in high-traffic areas. Despite this positive trend, California's EV sales mandates are still very aggressive, even in California, with decades of supportive EV policies, and will be extremely challenging, said John Bozzella, CEO of Alliance of Automotive Innovation. That's just a fact. The state's objectives depend on many factors, such as inflation, charging, fuel infrastructure, supply chains, labor, critical mineral availability and pricing, and the ongoing semiconductor shortage. Since the overwhelming majority of Americans prefer gasoline-powered cars to electric cars, Joe Biden in California will just force the EVs on the population. Even though 1 in 5 electric vehicle owners in California switched back to gasoline between 2012 and 2018. Because of the inconvenience of charging and range anxiety. One huge factor is that it takes about 7 minutes to fill up a gasoline tank. Yet some electric vehicles need several hours to charge just to drive 35 miles. Researchers found that charging electric vehicles is a total hassle, says 20% of EV owners surveyed between 2012 and 2018, so they're going back to gasoline-powered vehicles. How is California going to produce enough electricity from wind and solar? There isn't enough power, and this is proven with the brownouts that they've been having. And if they shut down that last nuclear power plant, there's going to be blackouts. If electric cars are better, then why are we banning gas-powered cars? Why are we bribing people to buy them with tax incentives? If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. If you have any questions and comments, because I am sure you do, I'll be happy to start that conversation down in the comments down below. All my links for social media, the book, the podcast are in the description. Thank you so much for watching and supporting us on our Patreon page, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.